What is up, car addicts? In this video we'll be talking about this event week as well as the property and vehicle discounts. This event week is for September 28th through October 4th, 2023. Now before we start, as most of you know, I never really do advertisements on this channel, but for those of you who haven't seen my YouTube community post yet, I have made a separate automotive vlogging channel for my IRL car content, and the first video featuring my Dodge Viper getting tuned will be dropping tomorrow, which is Friday. So for those of you who are interested, definitely consider subscribing to that channel, which is linked down below. But anyways, in terms of new content for this event week, we unfortunately didn't receive anything new. However, again, remember that we only have one drip feed vehicle left for this DLC, which is the Albany Brigham, and that one should be releasing on October 12th, which is when the GTA Plus benefits change. But anyways, the current prize ride for this week is the Sentinel Classic. This one is primarily based on the BMW E30 M3 and has normal price of $650,000 and a trade price of just under $500,000. To get it for free, you have to place top 5 in an LS Car Meet Series race for only 2 days in a row, so pretty easy this week. In regards to performance, it's in the sports class and is roughly a mid-tier sports car for track performance. However, it's a pretty nice car to drive, and remember that you can always bring it into Benny's and turn it into the Sentinel Classic wide body, which is faster and has more customization. Continuing to the test drive vehicles for this week, we have the Rapid GT, the 770, and the Jester Classic as well. And the Rapid GT was a removed website car, so definitely make sure to get it this week if you don't already own it. And as for current gen console users, we have the HSW Monstrosity as the HSW test ride vehicle for this week. Continuing to the casino podium vehicle, we have the Penumbra FF. This vehicle is primarily based on the second gen Mitsubishi Eclipse and has a normal price of just under $1.4 million. In regards to performance, this one's in the sports class and is a mid-tier performing car in the class with similar performance to the Sentinel Classic, which is on the prize right actually. And to mention, this car is all-wheel drive and is actually pretty nice to drive in general. In terms of the dealership cars for this week, for luxury autos we have the Lynx, which was a removed website car, and of course we have the RT3000 as well. Continuing to Simeons, we have the Ruiner ZZ8, the Panthier, the Pinot La Cruz, the Feltzer, and the Segoy as well. Continuing to discounts, in terms of property discounts, we have 40% off the modifications and renovations for the Bunkers, Nightclub, Biker Clubhouse, and the CEO offices as well. So to clarify, it is only the upgrades for them, it is not the actual properties themselves, which is a bit of a shame, but I guess since it's so many, it kind of makes sense. Continuing to vehicle discounts, we have 40% off the 770 from a test ride, which again was a removed website car. This is a fantastic price for this car. I think it has gorgeous styling and it's a pretty nice one to drive as well. Now it's not crazy fast, but it's still decently quick, being a mid-tier performing sports car. Highly recommend adding this one to your collection for this price. I think it's a great deal. Next up, we have 40% off the Lynx from Luxury Autos, which again was a removed website car. So this car has great styling and a good exhaust note as well. Now it's not very fast, being one of the slower sports cars in the class, plus its normal price was actually about 1.7 million, so right now it's about $1 million with a discount, which is still pretty expensive if I'm being honest, but considering how this car looks and how rare it is, I sort of think it might be worth considering buying depending on how much money you have. I honestly don't ever think it's going to be any cheaper than this, plus it's a removed website car, so up to you. Next up, onto the Severn San Andreas website, we have 30% off the Ruiner ZZ8. So this one's in the muscle car class and is a very quick muscle car, being in top 10 for most tracks, plus it has some great customization as well. I think it's a great buy if you're looking for that sort of 90s muscle car look. Continuing, we have 30% off the RT3000. So this car released with the Tuners DLC update and has great customization and is pretty fun to drive as well. Although 30% isn't as good of a discount as 40, but it still might be worth considering. And lastly, we have 50% off the Segoy, one of the most realistic looking cars in the game for sure, looking almost identical to the real Civic Type R. Plus it has some pretty good customization, but this thing is just awful to drive in my opinion. Its front wheel drive system is very overbearing and it's just very weird to maneuver around corners. So definitely keep that in mind, but again, it does look really cool, and half price is a pretty solid deal. Continuing to free items this week, you'll get the red Happy Moon t-shirt and the Alpine hat just for logging in this week, which is pretty cool. Moving on to the gun van, we have the following weapons available this week. Continuing to double money, we have double money NRP on the adversary mode Hasta la Vista. And then strangely, we have a 2x speed boost on production rate for the biker businesses, the bunker, and the nightclub, but not double money on the sales for them, which is interesting. But if it's producing twice as fast, I guess that's sort of double money if you sell it quickly enough. So not bad, I suppose. And lastly, we have 2x CEO crates that you have Lupe source for you. So it's not all your CEO crates, only the ones that he sources for you, which I guess is kind of interesting and weird. Probably not going to be all that great, but anyways. Also, the Assault on Gallo Perico adversary mode has had a permanent double payout. So from now on, it's going to pay double what it usually pays, which they should have done from the beginning. The payout was atrocious on that, so that's good to hear. But we do have some bad news. So Rockstar has unfortunately decided to reduce the payouts on select primary and secondary targets for the Gallo Perico heist finale. So we're still waiting to hear the full details from a newswire, which I'll probably make a separate video covering later today. But yeah, Rockstar decided to nerf Cayo again. Oh boy. Anyways, lastly for the time trials, this week's normal time trial is Elysian Island. I highly recommend a car or bike with a high top speed for this one. For the premium race this week, we have the off-road race across the wilderness. I highly recommend the BF400 or Jogger for this race. And if you're on current gen, I highly recommend using the HSW Monstrosity. And lastly, for current gen console users, the HSW time trial is North Chumash. As always, the HSW Hakuchu drag will be the best one for these. In terms of my vehicle discount pick of the week, I'm going to have to go with the 770. It's a removed website car, and it's just a good car for the money. Again, it has great styling, decent performance, and you rarely see anybody driving it around anymore. Highly recommend it. Anyways guys, overall this event week is actually pretty good with 4 businesses on sale, which is pretty insane, plus the double production rate speed boost on those businesses, which is nice to see as well, and some decent vehicles on sale. Overall, a pretty good week actually, so not bad Rockstar, although the Cayo nerf is really annoying. I guess we're going to have to wait and see what are the details on that later today. But anyways guys, thanks for watching, hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.